to start?
I guess so.
Hi everybody. How are we doing today? It's nice to see a lot of people here. Okay, so my whole presentation and my whole spirituality and my experience in this class, like I said in my elevator speech, a lot of it is centered around my family. And more particularly around the Hawaiian side of my family and around my papa, who is my mom's dad. And he was kind of the one driving like Hawaiian force, kind of in my life as I was a kid. This might get a little emotional, just to warn all of you, just so that you know. So I'm going to start off with a little bit of history about my papa, and then go into a little bit of history about myself and kind of my Hawaiian stuff, and then connect the two and explain everything to you guys. So my papa was born in 1983 in February, and he passed away 1938, sorry, 1938, my mistake, 1938 in February, and he passed away in 1999, May 5th, 1999. So he was my mom's dad. He was the big Hawaiian guy in my family. He grew up in Oahu and went to high school there, everything. Right after high school, he joined the military, and he got shipped to North Dakota in, random USA, North Dakota, where he met my grandmother, who was there going to high school. So just a couple of young kids, one in the military, one in high school. They ended up having my mom, and once she was about 2 years old, they moved to Northern California, where my grandpa had a few friends from the military who were Hawaiian and joined the military. And so they all moved to Northern California and kind of started the Hawaiian movement there. And even today, there's a big Hawaiian population in Northern California, which is where I'm from. He also started one of the biggest paddling clubs in Northern California as well. I can't remember the name of it. I tried to figure it out. We tried to figure it out. We couldn't find it. But he did start one of those. And so he was always just really big in the Hawaiian community all around us. And so my parents were working, so every Tuesday we would spend with my papa, and we would play music and dance around and, just do all kinds of fun stuff with your grandpa. So when I began to dance hula, I was 5 years old, and it was because my grandpa's family friends, who was their next door neighbors, was also a kumu hula, and she had a tiny little halau. On our first day of hula, there was 3 girls in a tiny little gym floor, and that was about it. That was all that was there, and that was our halau. And we just learned dances and ran around the other half of the time because we were crazy 5-year-olds. And so it was really informal, the halau, and it grew crazy in the years that I had been there. There's probably 200 to 300 haumana now. Yeah. So yeah, it's huge. And welcome, brand new class. So in 2009 was the year that I graduated high school and moved out here to go to college right after high school. It was also the year that was my last ho'ike in my halau. The ho'ike is like the show, it's the big performance, and we would do one every year. And so the 2009 one was my last one because I haven't been back to dance since I've been in college, obviously. So as I was trying to look at colleges, I knew there was just something that was pulling me here to this school. We had a really good Hawaiian Studies program. I had some family here. There was just kind of a bunch of things. And so that's what happened. I came here to college, and that's where I am now. So that's kind of my own personal history with hula and everything. But the whole purpose of this presentation was to explain something to you guys and kind of a phenomenon that happened in my family. So May 5th, 1999, it was a Wednesday, the day that my papa passed away. It was our elementary school back to school night. And it was also the same night that my dad, this is my dad, everybody. He's a professional guitar player, and he had a big concert that night with one of his biggest influences, right? And so he got the call from my grandmother that, you know, he had passed away. So he left the concert before it had started, went to their house, and we were all kind of, I mean, us kids were stuck at back to school night, knowing nothing, knowing, you know, eventually they came and picked us up and told us the next morning that he had passed away from a heart attack. So on Saturday, the Wednesday after the Saturday, there was a huge wake. It was, because of my grandpa being a huge part of the Hawaiian community, it was announced on, there's one Hawaiian channel in Northern California, or one station, it plays every Friday. So it was announced that Friday that there was going to be a wake at my grandparents' house on Saturday. So there was probably 200 people, maybe more, that showed up at, you know, this one house to, you know, celebrate him and everything like that. The next day was also Mother's Day. On the Sunday was Mother's Day. And it was the same kind of thing. We all kind of gathered at my grandparents' house to just relax. It was really just family at that point. Just, you know, us five, me and my brothers and sisters, and just a few others. It was a lot smaller. All I remember is just kind of running around with my cousins that day. And I always just remember seeing my dad, and he was sitting on the couch playing a guitar. It happened to be my papa's guitar. And the way that he explains it to me, the guitar just kind of played itself. And the song kind of came out of it. It sounded a little bit familiar. It sounded like maybe it had been heard before. He asked a few of his friends in like the music industry, wondering if it was, if it had already been a song or if it was a combination of songs. But we eventually figured out that it was an original song that was written by Papa's guitar. That was brought to us, which is, you know, kind of amazing. So a few months after that, he ended up writing lyrics to it, and a little bit after that, my hula choreographed a dance for it. So we are all able to play it and dance it and honor him. So the first time that this was, the song was performed, it was, my dad played, me and my mom and my sister, we all danced, and it was performed at our 2000 Ho'ike for hula, because of my papa's involvement with the Hawaiian community and with our halal. That whole Ho'ike was dedicated to him. So we performed it. It was, you know, emotional and crazy. And then it's been performed a few more times after that. And it's usually just me and my dad. But he puts on a concert every year or so, and we've, you know, performed it at a few of them. And that's actually what I wanted to share with all of you. So my dad came, brought his guitar. He's gonna sing and play while I dance for all of you guys, if that's okay with you. So that's what we're gonna do.
We're gonna try.
We're gonna try. This is my dad, Neil Hogan.
Hi.
Aloha.
What's that?
Is that the original guitar too?
No, I did not bring Papa's guitar. I thought about it, but decided I still have it. It doesn't leave the house very often.
Yeah, it's pretty sacred. But actually, the name of this song is called Papa's Guitar, written and lyrics by Neil Hogan, choreographed by if you guys don't know who that is, but that's my hula. But that's what's gonna happen. I hope you all enjoy it. Yeah.
I can still see his eyes, like the gentle trade winds, bring the spirit home to our circle of friends though we can't hear his voice, there's a melody, and his song will go on as we sing harmony. And the children would dance when Papa played the guitar. Now he follows their lives as stories told by the stars. And we look to the sea at times, watch the sway of the trees at times, and we know by the breeze that Papa plays this song. And the children would dance when Papa played the guitar. But now he follows their lives as stories told by the stars. And we look to the sea at times, watch the sway of the trees at times, and we know by the breeze that Papa plays his song. Yes, we know by the breeze that Papa hears this song.
Okay, what an example of this combination of exactly even like hula and spirituality. You know, like when we talk about sport and spirituality and an individual meaning. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you sharing that with us.